Miracles Unveiled, Everglades National Park, Florida. Nestled in the southeastern United States, the breathtaking Everglades National Park awaits. A place that unveils the wonders of nature like no other. Here, grandiose peaks reaching for the heavens or powerful glaciers carving their way through the landscape are absent. Instead, a captivating tapestry of delicate beauty envelops every corner. It is this ethereal allure that sets Everglades National Park apart, a hidden gem that reveals nature's most extraordinary miracles, unmatched anywhere else on our magnificent planet. Indeed, Everglades National Park is an unparalleled sanctuary of untouched wilderness. It stands alone as a pinnacle of natural richness and ecosystem diversity, surpassing any other park on Earth. Nestled within the marshy terrain of Florida for centuries, this pristine ecosystem has remained shielded from human interference. The result is a mesmerizing spectacle that captivates all who enter. In the summertime, a refreshing breeze dances amidst the humid air as rivers flow vigorously, while winter unveils a transformed savanna. Amidst the tropical flora, a tapestry of both exotic and familiar plants paints a vivid landscape. Deep within Everglades National Park, exclusive plant species thrive. Majestic red, black, and white mangroves, adorned with their graceful arching roots, claim their territory. The gumbo limbo tree, renowned for its leaves with calming properties in pharmacology, graces the park. Mahogany trees flourish, prized for their rich crimson hue and distinctive grain. Alas, those with a penchant for luxurious furniture must merely admire, for logging is strictly prohibited. Elliott's pine, Lignum vitae, Virginia oak, Carolina willow, golden plume, soapberry tree, magnolias, wild coffee tree, bald cypress, Mexican lavender, lemon leaf fig, and countless others enhance the park's enchanting tapestry. Amongst the herbaceous wonders, wild orchids stand in a league of their own, adorning the landscape with unrivaled elegance. 6 species of these botanical treasures beckon visitors, inspiring awe and prompting photographic admiration. Yet a strict decree forbids the plucking of even a single orchid, preserving their natural splendor for all to behold. The vast expanse of Everglades National Park primarily comprises intertwining prairies and lush jungles, interlaced with sprawling swamps, meandering rivers, and serene marshes. This unique and harmonious coexistence, stretching over 2,316.6 square miles, has become an unparalleled sanctuary for a multitude of creatures, solidifying its status as an unrivaled haven for the animal kingdom. Before America was discovered by Amerigo Vespucci, indigenous people lived in Florida. They deeply respected nature and considered it their mother, taking care of it. However, the rapid economic development of the New World led these indigenous people to move further inland. They gradually left their prairies, jungles, and marshes, which were not suitable for farming. Unfortunately, the future site of Everglades National Park remained neglected for a long time. In 1934, the United States government made an important decision to create Everglades National Park to preserve the untouched nature of the Florida Peninsula. Interestingly, during that time, regular visitors were strictly prohibited from entering the park. Only those with professional knowledge and experience in studying the wild plants and animals were allowed. However, this restriction was later lifted, and the park became open for everyone to visit. Today, Everglades attracts millions of tourists and explorers from around the world. It offers unique experiences and lasting memories. Surprisingly, about 20 years ago, some Florida entrepreneurs had the idea to drain the wetlands and cut down ancient trees to use the park's land for agriculture. Fortunately, not everyone agreed with this idea. UNESCO supported the park and recognized it as a Natural World Heritage Site. The misguided plans of these developers were stopped, and they retreated. Naturally, the park still faces challenges, such as environmental issues and glacial retreat, which affect the Everglades ecosystem. However, the U.S. government, conservation groups, volunteers, and donors all work together to protect the park for the enjoyment of its residents and visitors. To experience the park's magnificence, consider visiting Everglades National Park. Every year, about 1 million people from all over the world come here. It's not surprising, because the park offers unique beauty that is missing in our daily lives. You can take fascinating boat, kayak, car, or bicycle tours, which are easy to arrange. Renting a canoe is highly recommended to peacefully explore the calm rivers lined with white water lilies. The breathtaking landscapes will leave a lasting impression. Watching the pink sunrise or the last rays of the evening sun from the park's viewpoints is a dream come true. As the beauty of these moments evokes incredible emotions, trust us, these memories will stay with you forever. It's important to note that Everglades National Park is a vast area of untouched wilderness that has not been significantly impacted by human activity. It's a truly pristine natural resource, home to unique plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. That's why the park attracts not only tourists, but also many scientists. For those interested in natural sciences, the park provides comfortable campsites for their stay. Everglades is an exceptional educational resource that showcases the remarkable diversity of its flora and fauna. Let's flip through them together. In the national park, there are over 36 species. But unfortunately, all of them are endangered or close to extinction. These include sharks, dolphins, crocodiles, alligators, sea turtles, soft-shell turtles, white-tailed deer, black bears, otters, raccoons, as well as Florida's symbols, manatees and pumas. More than 2,000 bird species also have a rare status and only nest here within the national park. These include slug-eating kites, black vultures, hawks, American peckers, pelicans, cormorants, flamingos, red-shouldered buzzard, osprey, Anhinga, green and blue herons. However, there's something else worth noting. There are very few hoofed mammals in Everglades National Park, except for the white-tailed deer. This is because of the unique vegetation found in the park. The plains, which typically attract herbivores, are dominated by a tricky plant called sawgrass or swordgrass. It has narrow, sharp leaves that can harmfully cut through the soft tissues of mammals and even slice human skin like a surgical scalpel. As a result, on the plains covered with sawgrass, the majority of large animals are armored turtles, monitors, crocodiles, and of course, alligators. By the way, the alligator population in Everglades National Park has increased so much that some of them don't hesitate to take a swim in local residents' pools. It's important to mention that the Florida National Park is the only ecosystem in the world where its inhabitants coexist in harmony. Undoubtedly, wild nature has its own laws, but birds, mammals, and reptiles, at least, abide by them. Of course, it's impossible to cover all the park's inhabitants in one film. However, it's worth sharing some of the insights that make Everglades unique. Friends, for birds, Everglade Park is a true paradise. Only after meeting the great blue heron in the park will you be amazed. These beauties are everywhere here and behave extremely calmly as they are used to visitors. They won't show any curiosity when we appear. On the contrary, the feathered ones will continue with their usual bird activities. The great blue heron is the largest bird in the heron family among the inhabitants of Everglades Park. Interestingly, the Native Americans of Florida considered these birds to be their ancestors. According to their beliefs, men who quarreled with their wives were transformed into birds with long beaks in ancient times. Who knows? Maybe that's true. But blue herons are very beautiful. These birds always settle closer to the water, preferring lakes, slow river deltas, mangrove thickets, lagoons, bays, and marshy areas. That's why Everglades National Park is exactly what they need. Blue herons migrate in flocks, consisting of approximately 100 individuals. Colonies of blue herons are most often located in the Everglades swamps, surrounded by tall trees, at a distance of 1 to 7.5 miles from feeding areas, and with an abundance of nesting material. The male determines the location alone, gathering twigs, leaves, grass, brushwood, animal fur, and reeds. The female then carefully arranges the family nest. Frankly, her efforts are not very tidy. The nest looks quite untidy and requires regular repairs, but the bird's dwelling is used for several years. In the first year of construction, the nest has a diameter of about 20 inches, and over time, it can double in size. The birds fiercely defend it from competitors, loudly squawking, attacking with open beaks and spread wings. Once all the lazy contenders settle down, the pairs begin their courtship rituals. The suitors present twigs and grass to their chosen ones, and they arch their necks, raise their beaks, and perform graceful reverences. Both partners try to fluff their feathers, croon, accompanying the exchange of courtesies with circular dances. Over time, the female lays 3 to 7 bluish-green eggs and begins to incubate them. She does this at night, and during the day, the male dutifully takes over. The chicks hatch with intervals of several days. The firstborns grow faster and suppress their younger siblings, taking away their food and sometimes even pushing them out of the nest. Both parents feed and protect the offspring, regurgitating food directly into their little beaks for the first 10 days. Then the little ones are not shy about snatching a piece from their parents' beaks on their own. Blue heron chicks often become easy prey for predators. However, the chicks cannot be called cowards. When predators approach, they regurgitate the contents of their stomachs. The liquid with an unpleasant smell instantly deters many attackers. The chicks will only take flight at around 2 months of age. After their first flights, they often mistakenly return to other birds' nests and mercilessly evict the previous occupants. So the young chicks can be quite squatters. The adult blue heron measures 23 to 25 inches in length from head to tail, with a height of 39 inches. Their plumage is almost blue, lighter in summer, and slightly darkens as winter sets in. Interestingly, the heads of male blue herons are adorned with unique crests made of black feathers. The long wings of blue herons are rounded at the tips. Their wingspan reaches an impressive 2 meters during flight. Their strong beak is yellow underneath and dark gray on top. They have elongated necks, and the heron walks on thin legs with great importance. During flight, blue herons gracefully curve their necks in the shape of the letter S, straightening their legs along their bodies. The blue heron is mesmerizing in the sky. It elegantly flaps its wings, giving its flight a slow motion effect. The heron flies quite swiftly, reaching speeds of 19 to 29 miles per hour. It always announces its presence with loud cries as it approaches. Blue herons can be considered whimsical, as they are attracted to shallow waters with fish of unusual colors. During feeding, the blue heron will stand still for a long time in the midst of vegetation, with its neck extended upward and its beak poised. Dreamy and beautiful, it will sway ever so slightly in the wind. Its original gray-blue plumage serves as an excellent camouflage against the backdrop of the Florida sky, reflecting on the water's surface. This continues until the potential prey no longer sees the heron as a threat and comes closer at a minimal distance. With lightning-fast movements of its beak, the heron swiftly captures small prey and swallows it whole, skillfully tossing it in the air. For medium-sized fish, the bird first kills them with its beak and then swallows them when they become motionless. By the way, attempting to swallow prey that is too large often leads to choking and the heron's demise. Its favorite delicacy is fish about 8 inches long. The heron has excellent digestion, and sharp fish bones pose no problem. However, it regurgitates compressed pellets of small rodent fur approximately 10 hours after eating. In addition to fish, the heron consumes amphibians, lizards, crayfish, insects, small mammals, and birds. And in times of food shortage, it may scavenge for carrion. The blue heron has night vision, so it feeds not only during the day, but also hunts, if necessary, at night. However, it usually does so early in the morning or late in the evening. The average lifespan of a blue heron in the wild is around 15 to 20 years. In the breathtaking Everglades National Park, you'll encounter another fascinating avian creature, the graceful green heron, Butoridis virescens, belonging to the esteemed lineage of mangrove herons. Its name stems from the Middle English word butor, signifying bittern, and ancient Greek term oids, meaning resembling, combined with a Latin adjective for color. The green heron boasts a modest stature, with the adult's body measuring around 44 centimeters in length. Catching a glimpse of this beauty as it elegantly tucks in its neck, slightly puffs it up, and takes on an endearing resemblance to a beloved barnyard hen. Mature green herons exhibit a lustrous greenish-black plumage, gracing their heads, backs, and wings. A rich brown hue adorns their necks, while a captivating white stripe adorns their chests, lending them a touch of original allure. And let's not forget their delightful short, vibrant yellow legs, reminiscent of dainty sunshine-hued boots. Completing their distinctive appearance is a long, dark beak, finely tapered at its tip. During nesting, adult females, although smaller, possess a more subdued plumage. The vocalization of the green heron is a resounding symphony, echoing an impassioned cry or a poignant wail. In flight, its wingspan, approximately 25 inches, showcasing a leisurely yet graceful aerial dance. The green heron truly stands out with its extraordinary abilities. It joins the ranks of a select few avian species that cleverly employ tools during their hunting endeavors. Remarkably, this heron utilizes bread crusts, insects, beetles, and larvae as enticing bait for its prey. With finesse, the green heron releases its bait upon the water's surface, capturing the attention of unsuspecting denizens. Just like a tenacious angler, it seizes the moment when hunger-driven fish gravitate towards the lure, executing its hunt with sheer brilliance. Equally captivating is its knack for luring sizable frogs with delectable bait, skillfully capturing and submerging them before savoring them whole. Indeed, there is no doubt about the green heron's astute reasoning and resourcefulness as a feathered hunter. On the shores of the Everglades water bodies, it's truly a sight to behold the breathtakingly beautiful bird known as the American Anhinga. It's no wonder it's been bestowed with such an enchanting name. With its petite head seamlessly merging into an exquisitely long serpentine neck, the visual appeal is undeniable. This remarkable adaptation is facilitated by a unique formation of a compression loop around the 8th and 9th vertebrae, allowing the bird to swiftly extend its head forward during its lightning-fast prey captures. The average body length of this avian marvel measures around 33 inches, complemented by an impressive beak length of 31 inches, distinguished by its sharpness and subtle serrations. The wings of the Anhinga are broad and expansive, enabling it to effortlessly navigate the atmospheric currents for extended periods of time. The resplendence of its wings is truly captivating, leaving an indelible impression on anyone fortunate enough to witness the Anhinga gracefully drying its wings after a refreshing dip in the water. The bird assumes an almost balletic posture, as if it were tuned to a romantic melody, executing its own avian dance. It is truly a magnificent display of beauty and elegance, befitting of this extraordinary creature. The Anhinga possesses a remarkable elongated tail, which serves as an invaluable asset during its graceful flights, reminiscent in some ways of the majestic tail of a domestic turkey. The males of the American Anhinga exhibit a predominantly charcoal black hue, adorned by shimmering silver feathers with delicate white edges that become conspicuous on the posterior part of their back and the outermost regions of their wings. Additionally, an endearing crest embellishes their heads. The females, on the other hand, display a more subdued plumage, primarily composed of earthy browns with a softer shade adorning their necks and heads. In contrast to other aquatic birds, the Anhinga's feathers have the unique trait of becoming completely saturated upon contact with water, enhancing its diving capabilities. However, this drenched state compromises its surface buoyancy, body temperature, and aerial maneuverability. The American Anhinga takes flight either by gracefully skimming above the water's surface or by launching itself from lofty arboreal perches. When descending onto the water, only its head and neck remain visible, evoking the mesmerizing locomotion of a genuine serpent. While immersed in the aquatic realm, the Anhinga zealously hunts for fish, reserving the rest of its time perched on resilient tree branches. Although they mostly lead solitary lives, these remarkable birds occasionally unite with flocks comprising cormorants, ibises, and herons. They form intimate nesting groups while meticulously respecting individual territories. The Anhinga, known for its tranquility and grace, generally maintains a subdued demeanor, occasionally punctuated by melodic clicks or the chattering sounds emitted during its flights or near its nesting site. Anhingas predominantly indulge in a piscivorous diet, with a particular fondness for perch and carp, although they also partake in small aquatic invertebrates and insects. Fascinatingly, despite not being exceptionally swift swimmers, the American Anhinga successfully hunts by leveraging its elongated neck and keen-edged beak. Patiently stalking its prey, it strikes with lightning speed, effortlessly engulfing its meal whole. The American Anhinga reaches sexual maturity at approximately 2 years of age. Mating occurs throughout the year or is influenced by the rainy seasons in Florida. These avian companions embody monogamy, forming resilient pair bonds and often reusing their chosen nest location for multiple breeding seasons. In a typical nest, there are usually 2 to 6 exquisite eggs, showcasing a delicate hue of green or bluish tones, sometimes adorned with charming specks of brown. The period of incubation spans a graceful 25 to 30 days, as attentive males stand guard, protecting the precious sanctuary from uninvited intruders. Should any unwelcome guests draw near, the devoted father majestically spreads his wings, emanating an aura of authority, while sternly clicking his beak. In the face of persistent danger, he fearlessly launches into a valiant defense. Emerging from their fragile shells, the hatchlings exude an endearing vulnerability, adorned in their nakedness, yet possessing an insatiable appetite for life. Initially, the nurturing parents feed them morsels of pre-digested fish with utmost care, tenderly moistening their tiny beaks with droplets of water. As the fledglings grow in strength, they begin to explore the world on their own, eagerly paddling within the expansive beaks of their loving caregivers. Nestling within the haven for approximately 3 weeks, they gradually gather courage, attempting to perch upon the branches, beholding the spirited world that awaits their graceful existence. Within the Everglades National Park in Florida, larger birds are also observed. Among them is the American black vulture, also known as the American black griffin, Latin name Coragyps atratus. It is a distinct species within the vulture family. The griffin is truly a large bird, measuring up to 27.5 inches in length, with a wingspan of 2 meters. Most of its body feathers are black, except for the lower wing feathers, which are white. Interestingly, the head and upper part of the griffin's neck lack feathers, and the bare, dark gray skin appears rather unsightly due to its wrinkled, aged appearance. The bird has a long and hooked beak. Its legs are thick and more suited for running than perching on branches. The griffin's flight is unhurried as it leisurely soars in the sky, riding the air currents with its widespread wings. On the ground, the birds amusingly hop, resembling clumsy, well-fed chickens. American black vultures prefer open plains and can be encountered in lowlands, fields, and even in the dumps of a large city. Vultures are monogamous birds, meaning that the male remains faithful to one female for life. Their courtship and mating rituals are not particularly romantic. Typically, the male chases after the female frantically, then performs aerial acrobatics, and the cycle repeats. During the breeding season, the female incubates a single brood. Eggs are laid in tree cavities, old tree stumps, or simply on the ground under rocks, in hollows of fallen trees, or even in abandoned agricultural structures. Vultures don't fuss much about elaborate nest architecture. A primitive nesting site may be used for several years. Usually, the female lays 2 eggs. The incubation period lasts for 55 days, after which fluffy chicks emerge. It's worth mentioning that both parents participate in incubation and feeding the offspring. After 70 days, when they are fully feathered, young vultures become capable of feeding themselves, although they still accompany their parents to the dining area. These birds, like their close relatives, feed on carrion. In the latter part of the day, they take to the air and circle in ascending air currents for hours, scanning the ground surface for prey. When they spot motionless prey, the vultures behave extremely aggressively towards other hungry members of their flock. Additionally, their dining habits cannot be described as aesthetically pleasing. Often, they fly off in search of food to landfills, slaughterhouses, sewer systems, or even highways. Sometimes they prey on weak chicks, reptile hatchlings, newborn calves, small birds, and mammals. And when the vultures are starving and their favorite delicacies are not nearby, they will consume overripe vegetables and rotten fruit. In other words, black vultures in Florida are not picky eaters. Most people find vultures unattractive, mainly due to their diet. It's hard for someone to watch the consumption of dead flesh without feeling disgusted. But sorry, someone in nature has to do it, right? That's the first and foremost. Secondly, while vultures may not be visually appealing, they are excellent sanitizers, and unparalleled cleaners of the ecosystem. And even though their job may not look aesthetically pleasing, these birds diligently perform it. Is that really a bad thing? Everglades National Park is perhaps the only ecosystem where you can find a turtle whose uniqueness deserves special mention. It's the chicken turtle, Florida chicken turtle, the sole representative of the freshwater marsh turtle family. This distinctive scientific name is related to the reptile's extremely long neck and the characteristic pattern resembling a mesh on its upper shell. Additionally, the term chicken in the common name of the turtle apparently referred to the taste of its meat, which was once highly sought after for making turtle soup, and was sold alongside the entrails of common domestic chickens in Florida markets. Interestingly, the upper plastron or shell of the Florida subspecies is colored bright yellow or orange. Often the chicken turtle is often referred to as the golden turtle because of it. These reptiles are relatively small, with males reaching about 6.5 inches and females, as is typical among other turtle species, being larger at approximately 10 inches. Chicken turtles prefer shallow, stagnant, or slow-moving muddy water bodies with abundant vegetation. You won't find them in deep rivers or lakes, teeming with alligators and large fish. When the water body dries up, chicken turtles move onto land and bury themselves in the soil or hide under leaves to avoid desiccation. Despite their ability to adapt to life on land, aquatic turtles patiently await the return of the larger water bodies, which serve as both their home and feeding grounds. The chicken turtle is primarily carnivorous, feeding on crayfish, butterflies, and spiders. But it also consumes small fish, carrion, and plants. It is an active hunter, and its long neck is particularly effective in capturing agile prey. The swift extension of its long neck leaves no chance of escape for even the most agile items in the chicken turtle's diet. According to herpetologists studying reptile behavior in the wild, chicken turtles can be quite aggressive. For instance, if you have the desire to touch them to show affection, but they're not in the mood for such affection, you may end up with a substantial bite. Moreover, it seems as if they are completely indifferent to everything and are peacefully dozing, but their long, flexible necks can instantly shoot out from under their shell, which doesn't even flinch. The chicken turtle is well adapted to life on land. Like many other turtle species, it enjoys basking in the sun during the day to regulate its body temperature as an ectotherm. Interestingly, unlike most other species, the chicken turtle hibernates during the winter months. Those turtles that inhabit the warmest parts of southern Florida do not undergo this dormant period. Although the overall population of chicken turtles is considered secure, Florida's conservation communities have listed them as a threatened species and have implemented strict regulations for controlled hunting. Besides the chicken turtle, other interesting reptile species found in Everglades National Park is the soft-shell or Florida soft-shell turtle. You can only encounter it in the state of Florida, as it has the smallest geographic range there. Furthermore, it is the only freshwater turtle species with a soft shell. Its preferred habitat consists of slow-moving waters of rivers, lakes, ponds, calm springs, swamps, and wet prairies. The Florida soft-shell turtle has a flattened pancake-like body, a long neck, an elongated head with a tube-like nose, and large webbed feet with 3 claws on each. Most turtles have a hard shell, but the Florida soft-shell turtle shell is unique. It is cartilaginous and covered in skin. Its coloration varies from olive green and dark brown on the upper side to white or ochre on the underside. Researchers refer to this pattern as contrasting shading, but we know it more commonly as camouflage. The length of the soft-shell turtle's shell ranges from 6 to 30 inches, with females being 3 to 5 times larger than males, although males generally have longer tails. The shells of young turtles are lighter with yellow and orange stripes, while their plastron or belly shell is mostly dark-colored. The Florida soft-shell turtle spends most of its life in the water and only comes ashore to bask in the sun or lay eggs. Water is its natural element, and the soft-shell turtle is an exceptional swimmer. As for its diet, the soft-shell turtle prefers meat, including fish, insects, crayfish, slugs, frogs, and mollusks. Females reach sexual maturity between 5 to 8 years of age. The nesting season in Florida, within the Everglades Park area, spans from early April to early August. The incubation period for the eggs in the nest lasts between 60 and 90 days. Interestingly, female soft-shell turtles lay 4 to 5 clutches of eggs during a single breeding season, with a new clutch every 3 weeks. Surprisingly, scientists have observed cases where females laid eggs in the nests of others. Guess who? Alligators. They often use these eggs in limited nesting areas or during seasons with excessive rainfall. In other words, Florida soft-shell turtles are record holders for reproductive performance among reptiles in the wild. Among the enemies of the Florida soft-shell turtle are alligators, river otters, raccoons, skunks, and numerous birds in the Everglades, who are also keen on feasting on them. Today, the natural population of the Florida soft-shell turtle is on the brink of critical levels. The threat of their extinction solely comes from humans. Commercial harvesting of turtles for gastronomic pleasure is beyond common sense. To understand this, one must at least once see this unique reptile with their own eyes. The state of Florida, where the Everglades National Park is located, is surrounded by the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. We mention this not to remind you of the park's geographic location, but because these waters have a significant impact on the overall hydro resources of the park's area. The aquatic wildlife of the Everglades Park is yet another fascinating natural aspect of Florida. Sharks, dolphins, rays, manatees, various species of fish, and mollusks are the inhabitants of the territorial waters adjacent to the park. Therefore, it is necessary to talk about some of them. Shall we talk about manatees? In 1502, during Christopher Columbus's fourth voyage, he personally ordered the capture of an American manatee, which he believed to be a mermaid. The crew continuously fed the animal, and it obediently swam to the sailor's call. It lived in a lake on the mainland for 26 years, becoming extremely friendly towards humans. Apparently, they are genuinely sociable creatures. So let's try to learn more about them. The manatee family consists of 3 species: the American, African, and Amazonian manatees. The American manatee belongs to the class of mammals, order Sirenia, and the genus Trichechus. Outside of taxonomy, it is also referred to as the Florida manatee. It is a relatively large animal with a bluish-gray color. Its overall length ranges from 9 to 16 feet, and it can weigh up to 1,322 pounds. Its front limbs resemble the flippers of sea lions, but the hind limbs of manatees have diminished over thousands of years of evolutionary processes. Wherever Florida is rich in aquatic vegetation, manatees can be found because they are herbivores. They often swim to rivers in search of food and willingly stay there because the water is warmer. Manatees can be observed in the Shark River Slough within the Everglades National Park. By the way, its magnificent waters are not only a favorite place for manatees, but also for Florida's bandits, alligators. More about them later. Manatees are not solitary animals. They usually form herds with a population of up to 20 individuals. These animals are very cute and endearing due to their childlike expressive eyes and slightly mustached appearance. The manatee's head is low and wide, bearing some resemblance to the skulls of even-toed ungulates, elephants, and hyraxes. Nostrils with valves are located at the tip of their snout. When manatees collectively raise their noses above the water's surface to breathe, it always evokes admiration. Scientists consider manatees and elephants as related species because they share a common ancestor. Manatees and elephants have the same tooth structure, with their teeth constantly being replaced, which is extremely rare among other animals. Furthermore, at the ends of the manatee's flippers, there are 2 small hooves that resemble those of elephants, rather than claws like seals have. Therefore, manatees are often referred to as sea elephants or cows. At the beginning of our story about Everglades National Park, we noted that its ecosystem is not rich in herbivorous mammals, as the park's flatlands are covered with plants that are not the main food source for ruminant animals. However, the white-tailed deer, belonging to the most common species of the deer family, has managed to adapt well to the park's swamps. Allow me to introduce you to the Florida black bear, a diminutive member of the bear family residing in North America. The black bear, an enchanting denizen of the forest, dedicates a substantial portion of its life to an essential and altruistic pursuit, the quest for sustenance. With a leisurely gait, it traverses well-worn trails, meticulously carved by its bear ancestors. The expansive, untamed terrains of Everglades are a haven for majestic creatures, like alligators, manatees, turtles, snakes, black bears, and deer. Yet let's not overlook the tiny wonders that inhabit this remarkable ecosystem. Nature has adorned them with exotic beauty and fascinating behaviors, despite their small stature. Who are they, you ask? They are the countless remarkable insects capable of gracefully fluttering from flower to flower, savoring sweet nectar, and even taking a dip or diving underwater. Let's begin with the most notorious insect in Everglades, the mosquito. Although these persistent pests are an annoyance encountered everywhere, we're all too familiar with their bothersome ways. It's no surprise that even well-prepared tourists stock up on an arsenal of sprays, lotions, and ointments to fend off their itch-inducing assaults through their entire vacation. Within the Florida Everglades Sanctuary, mosquitoes are far from scarce. However, their population dwindles during the relatively cool and dry winter months. It's during the wet season when the mosquito numbers surge, as they lay their eggs in the watery realms. While male mosquitoes exclusively feed on the nectar of flowers, it's the females who possess the cunning ability to deliver their infamous bites. Their insatiable need for blood stems from the requirement of protein to nourish and develop their precious eggs. Mosquitoes are lured by the allure of carbon dioxide we exhale. And it's not just humans who fall victim to their piercing proboscis. Other creatures, too, attract these buzzing nuisances with their breath. Curiously, some mosquitoes have a peculiar preference for avian blood, while others wouldn't mind indulging in a sip from the formidable alligator's life force. Whirligig beetles can be seen in large groups in Everglades National Park, gracefully skimming across the water's surface. Among the insects of Everglades, they are true underwater hunters. What makes whirligig beetles fascinating is their possession of two pairs of eyes, two on top and two on the bottom, allowing them to see both above and below the water. These beetles dive using an air bubble trapped beneath their abdomen, functioning like lungs to help them breathe while submerged. They feast on small aquatic insects and even the larvae of our pesky mosquitoes. In Florida's Everglades Park, you'll encounter over 90 diverse species of butterflies. The majority of them are astonishingly vibrant, brightly colored, and adorned with intricate markings on their wings. Butterflies seek sunny and warm days to bask in the sunlight and warm their cold-blooded bodies. Observing the most common species in Florida, such as the monarch butterfly and the paper kite, fluttering their wings above the flower petals is truly a delightful experience and remarkably soothing. Butterflies primarily feed on floral nectar, but the Florida paper kite butterfly, for instance, is unique as it also feeds on pollen, just like ordinary bees. The golden orb spider weaves its distinctive web among plant stems and tree branches. If you live in Florida, you might come across them in your own yard. These spiders earn their name because their silk truly appears golden when illuminated by sunlight. Locals refer to these insects as banana spiders. Their striking appearance serves as a warning of their dangerous venom. If you happen to encounter these spiders, it's best to avoid them. These seemingly attractive and peaceful creatures will be the first to attack if you unintentionally disturb their habitat. The web will transmit a vibrational signal to the spider, and it may cause you a host of troubles. Their bite results in blisters and excruciating pain. And heaven forbid if you have allergies, as difficulty breathing and muscle spasms are guaranteed. Everglades is home to insects whose vibrant appearance is a clear warning. However, rest assured that they are harmless to humans. One such example is the lubber grasshopper. They have never flown in their lifetime, but have perfected the art of jumping. Their leaps can reach up to 4 meters. These insects are rather sluggish, so when you spot them, there's no need to hastily grab your video or camera. Most likely, you'll end up taking a dozen photos while the grasshopper, having had its fill of exploration and tired of your photographic equipment, leaps away magnificently. These brightly colored insects are quite large, reaching up to 7 centimeters in length. The lubber grasshopper's coloring is by no means for camouflage. They can be bright green, purple, brown, or even black. They don't need camouflage. The grasshoppers compensate with unique defensive characteristics. Their vivid colors among the green foliage serve as a stern warning to potential predators not to indulge in them. And those birds or mammals that disregard the warning will suffer. They experience nausea, which often leads to the demise of an indiscriminate gourmet. But after recovering, they quickly learn not to touch the toxic grasshopper. Amidst the small inhabitants of Everglades Park, large and predatory animals coexist. These are the alligators. The majestic Shark River meanders through the Everglades National Park, its shores adorned with dense thickets of towering sawgrass. It's a place where cautious mammals tread lightly or steer clear altogether. But what makes the Shark River marshes so inhospitable? Is it the treacherously sharp blades of grass? Well, the truth is, this place is an alligator's domain. Yet intrepid adventurers are undeterred and flock to Everglades for one purpose: to witness these magnificent creatures with their own eyes. To ensure visitors don't lose their wits in the face of reptilian encounters, warning signs are strategically placed throughout the park, reminding everyone of the rules of engagement. Venturing on foot or by any other means of transport demands the utmost caution. You won't have time to catch your breath before an alligator, or even a few, eagerly rushes in for an unexpected rendezvous. It's no wonder. They're the true masters of the park, while we are mere uninvited guests. Regrettably, some visitors take these reptilian residents lightly, blissfully unaware of the potential risks. They fail to grasp the true nature of these creatures in the wild. Let's be clear, alligators are the rulers of their domain, free to roam as they please. And they never feel compelled to issue warnings. So if you've embarked on a quest for unforgettable experiences in Everglades National Park, it's wise to heed the precautionary recommendations, perfect for the modern-day explorer. Therefore, it's imperative to acquaint ourselves with these extraordinary beings, whose mere mention conjures up images of ravenous man-eaters. But my friends, Let's set the record straight. That notion is a gross exaggeration. So, what are alligators really like? The name alligator likely originates from the Spanish phrase el lagarto, meaning the lizard. After all, the early Spanish settlers and explorers were among the first to encounter these captivating creatures in Florida. Over time, the word's pronunciation took on a distinct English flavor. An alligator is a magnificent reptile that belongs to the crocodilian family and the genus Alligator. These incredible creatures have earned their special place in the natural world. Currently, our planet is home to two distinct species of alligators: the Mississippi, also known as the American alligator, and the Chinese alligator, found in the swampy regions of the lower Yangtze River. Interestingly, alligators have distinct relatives that bear a striking resemblance: crocodiles and caimans. These fascinating reptiles represent some of the oldest inhabitants of our planet, with a history dating back over 200 million years. Throughout the course of evolution, these reptiles have been shaped into the remarkable beings we see today. For example, an adult American alligator typically weighs around 360 kilograms and can reach an impressive length of 13 feet. Some exceptional individuals can even grow up to an astonishing 14.7 feet. However, it's important to note that claims of discovering a 19-feet reptile in Louisiana have raised doubts among esteemed experts. Adult alligators predominantly display black or dark olive skin tones, accentuated by contrasting white or yellowish underside. On the other hand, young alligators of this species often exhibit a vibrant shade of yellow. It's worth mentioning that the coloration of an alligator's skin is greatly influenced by the hue of its aquatic habitat. This natural camouflage provides them with a significant advantage, allowing them to blend seamlessly within the watery marshlands and thrive amidst the surrounding vegetation. Alligators possess distinct features that set them apart from other members of the crocodilian family, such as their broader snouts, which bear a resemblance to sturdy shovels. Please bear with us for the comparison. These reptiles sport captivating gray-green eyes that resemble bubbles, protected by bony shields and positioned dorsally, gracing the upper portion of their formidable heads. Intriguingly, alligators possess the remarkable ability to illuminate their eyes, especially during the enchanting twilight hours. The eyes of larger specimens emit a fiery red glow, while their smaller counterparts shimmer with a mesmerizing shade of green. These captivating ocular characteristics of alligators represent just one of the many enigmatic secrets bestowed upon us by the majestic force of nature. Speaking of alligator eyes, we mustn't overlook the famous phrase, crocodile tears. Does it ring a bell? This idiom is often used to describe insincerity, false displays of emotion, or feigned sympathy towards someone else's misfortune. Interestingly, the phrase originates from ancient beliefs that crocodiles shed bitter tears while devouring their prey, a peculiar act of remorse and sympathy, though ultimately driven by their insatiable appetite. In essence, crocodiles indeed shed tears. And do you know why? It's because they inhabit saltwater environments, and their tear glands, coupled with specialized salt channels, help them eliminate the excess salt from their bodies. You'll never come across alligators on the ocean coastline, as they are freshwater dwellers and can't tolerate salty waters. That's why alligators never shed a tear. Here's an interesting fact. The reptile's nostrils are safeguarded by special skin folds that drop down like window blinds, preventing water from seeping in when the animal takes a dive. Despite their inability to smell, this doesn't hinder them. On the front of their heads, alligators possess what are called black sensory spots, also known as water pressure receptors. These remarkable sensors help the predator pinpoint its prey and navigate straight towards it with an unwavering precision. Let's not overlook the impressive teeth of alligators. They're the defining feature that sets them apart from crocodiles. When a crocodile's jaw is clamped shut, you can still catch a glimpse of its teeth, particularly the noticeable fourth tooth in the lower jaw. It's probably the reason behind the popular saying, "crocodile smile." On the flip side, an alligator's jaws expertly conceal both upper and lower rows of teeth. Interestingly, they have the fascinating ability to periodically replace their teeth as they wear down. You see, an alligator's teeth are stacked together, patiently waiting inside their main tooth until it's their turn to emerge. Approximately every 2 years, an old tooth makes way for a fresh one. Amazingly, an alligator can sport around 84 teeth in total. It's a shame our own teeth don't have the same regenerative powers. However, we do share something in common with these reptiles: the toughest tooth enamel. This incredible enamel allows alligators to effortlessly crush the robust shells of turtles as if they were mere sunflower seeds. The enamel of an alligator's teeth is immensely strong, capable of withstanding colossal forces. A single powerful chomp from a large alligator can shatter a lawnmower like a flimsy coffee cup. Now let's address the burning question: does the alligator's jaw possess the fabled ferocity? There are countless tales about its deadly trap, full of intense emotions. However, the strength of an alligator's bite depends not only on its teeth, but also on the powerful muscles on its jaw. While the muscles responsible for closing the mouth and delivering an incredibly forceful bite are exceptionally well developed, the muscles responsible for opening it are comparatively weaker. That's why a simple strip of everyday tape from a nearby store is all it takes to pacify an alligator and keep its mouth firmly shut. But alligators don't rely solely on their jaws for ruthless feeding frenzies. They also employ them for the tender care of their offspring. The females gently transport their little ones in their jaws, providing an unbelievably secure mode of transportation. Now let me ask you, who would dare harm an alligator hatchling in such circumstances? Both American and Chinese alligators boast robust and supple tails, accounting for almost half of their body length and serving as a vital functional component. With their remarkable swimming abilities, alligators' tails function as paddles for their aquatic endeavors. Moreover, the tail acts as a dependable weapon when facing adversaries head-on. The muscular strength of an alligator's tail enables it to swiftly snap a wooden canoe in half or even rupture a sturdy steel cable. Just imagine the fate of those who dare to cross their path. The tail harbors 3 pairs of essential muscles responsible for rotating the alligator. You see, these awe-inspiring creatures lack the ability to chew their food. Once they seize their hapless prey in their jaws, they commence their deadly rotations, tearing it apart with ruthless precision. It's undoubtedly a spectacle that requires a strong stomach to witness. Alligators are remarkably agile and nimble creatures, displaying their dexterity both in water and on land. These reptiles swiftly maneuver on their short, powerful legs, capable of reaching speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour over short distances. Inhabiting a solitary lifestyle, adult alligators fiercely defend their territory, swiftly retaliating against audacious competitors with a forceful strike of their formidable tails. At times, even more formidable challenges await the weaker ones, as they may find themselves in the clutches of a more dominant predator. The activity of alligators peaks from April to October, when they engage in their bustling routines. However, as the cold weather encroaches, they gracefully transition into a preparatory phase for a prolonged period of hibernation. Along the coastal regions, these remarkable creatures meticulously construct burrows, equipped with nesting chambers, serving as their shelter during the winter months. Multiple reptiles may take refuge in these communal dens, entering a state of anabiosis, where they abstain from eating, remain motionless, and appear to have succumbed to an eternal slumber, impervious to any external disturbances. Only the arrival of spring can reawaken them from this dormant state. With the warmth of the April sun caressing their chilled bodies, they gradually reinvigorate and embark on their exhilarating springtime hunt. Alligators exhibit a remarkable sense of responsibility when it comes to their dietary preferences. Their discerning palate encompasses a vast array of prey, as they capitalize on any opportunity to secure a meal. While predominantly nocturnal hunters, they embrace the tranquility of daylight, finding solace in restful slumber or leisurely basking under the golden rays of the sun. In their early stages of life, young alligators predominantly subsist on a diet consisting of shells, crustaceans, insects, small reptiles, and turtles. As they mature, their culinary choices expand to encompass larger prey such as substantial fish, serpents, avian species, and mammals. With unwavering determination, these reptilian predators fiercely pursue an astonishing range of quarries, including wild boars, deer, bears, and even manatees. However, driven by the relentless pang of hunger induced by scarce food sources, alligators occasionally discard their aversions and resort to consuming carrion. Furthermore, there have been instances where their voracious appetite has led them to prey upon their own kind, underscoring the occurrence of cannibalistic behavior within the reptilian realm. The hunting strategy and tactics employed by alligators can be succinctly summarized by a single word: patience. These astute predators possess an uncanny ability to lie in wait, silently observing their unsuspecting victims for hours on end, relentlessly tracking their every move. When the opportune moment arises, their lightning-fast attack transpires within the blink of an eye as the alligator swiftly seizes its prey, effortlessly engulfing it whole or instantly crushing it with its formidable jaws. For larger specimens, the alligator adeptly maneuvers its catch towards the water, spinning in a graceful dance of consumption until the prey is skillfully divided into manageable portions. A ravenous alligator reveals itself to be a cunning strategist and inventive opportunist, exemplified by instances where they utilize tools to ensnare avian species. By adorning their heads with foliage and branches, these resourceful reptiles ingeniously attract birds seeking construction materials for their nests. This ingenious strategy proves remarkably successful during the nesting season, as the birds unwittingly become suppliers of sustenance to the cunning reptiles. Such is the fascinating tapestry of nature's intricate interplay. Alligators possess a remarkable two-chambered stomach, wherein their initial section always houses gastroliths. These gastroliths are none other than stones, mineral fragments, and even rocky formations deliberately ingested by these creatures. Acting as natural grinders, these foreign entities within their stomachs efficiently pulverize substantial and bony food chunks. Intriguingly, there was a prolonged period of spirited scientific debate concerning the purpose of these gastric gastroliths. Some, with credible justification, speculated that alligators consume stones to amass extra weight, enabling them to descend to greater depths. This hypothesis holds water, considering that scuba divers employ a similar strategy. However, fastidious researchers have refuted this notion by discovering gastroliths within the stomachs of avian species. So I must inquire, why would our feathered friends burden themselves while in flight? Incidents of alligator-human encounters are exceedingly rare. Unlike their crocodilian counterparts, alligators do not view humans as viable prey. Yet, to be fair, there have been documented cases of American alligators engaging with humans. For the longest time, it was widely believed that alligators harbored an intense fear of our species. And indeed, that holds true. However, it is foolhardiness that consistently leads audacious individuals to trespass upon alligators' domains, needlessly placing themselves at considerable risk. It is paramount to always bear in mind that these creatures are formidable predators. They possess an unparalleled inventiveness, cunningly blending into their surroundings, expertly concealed beneath the shimmering veneer of the water's surface. A seemingly innocuous log gently swaying amidst the aquatic vegetation unveils a hidden danger one might not expect. It could very well conceal a lurking predator, patiently awaiting its unsuspecting prey. However, it is imperative to reiterate, when embarking upon an adventure into the untamed wilderness, abandon all pretentiousness and hubris. Nature unequivocally does not pardon such transgressions. Instead, it is wiser to attentively heed the recommendations and restrictions set forth by the knowledgeable park rangers of any national park. These consummate professionals possess an intimate understanding of the inhabitants' behavior, a comprehensive familiarity with the terrain, and most importantly, a wealth of practical experience in navigating unpredictable circumstances. Regrettably, the only thing they cannot do is firmly tether our feet with a cord, dissuading us from venturing into uninvited territories. And I assure you, this statement is made without even the faintest trace of irony. These same principles hold true within the hallowed grounds of Everglades National Park. Venturing forth on an unaccompanied stroll through the sprawling river basins and swamplands is strictly forbidden. And it goes without saying that one must absolutely refrain from tempting fate by proffering a delectable sandwich to the first alligator that happens to cross their path, surreptitiously concealed within their pocket. Always bear in mind, an alligator is a far cry from the amicable pigeons found in the familiar parks of our hometowns, from whence we embarked upon this magnificent journey to Everglades National Park. It may initially appear inconceivable to envision a creature less imbued with romance than an alligator. However, once roused from their winter slumber, the hearts of these magnificent reptiles quicken their rhythm, igniting within them the capacity for extraordinary acts. With the arrival of spring, the alligators commence their captivating ritual of courtship, an awe-inspiring spectacle to behold. The gender of newborn alligators is entirely influenced by the temperature within their nests. When it's excessively warm, male hatchlings make their appearance, while cooler temperatures give rise to female hatchlings. The soft cries of these little ones serve as a signal for the attentive mother to carefully dig out the nest. Her remarkable nurturing instincts kick in as she diligently protects and guides the hatchlings to the water. If the hatchlings remain nearby, the mother alligator provides them with unwavering protection from predators throughout the year. After all, the vulnerable newborns and young alligators often fall prey to creatures like cougars, lynxes, raccoons, and majestic marshland birds. Interestingly, scientists ponder the behavior of adult alligators who sometimes resort to cannibalism, drawing comparisons to the alpha male lions in a pride, but without conclusive answers. These fortunate hatchlings who manage to evade unfortunate circumstances face a long period of vulnerability and slow growth. Even after 2 years, their length barely reaches 50 to 60 centimeters. However, if they successfully navigate the harsh conditions of the wild, we can cautiously refer to them as adult alligators in another 2 years. In the wild, alligators typically live for around 30 to 35 years, while in captivity, such as eco and zoological parks, their lifespans tend to be slightly longer. For instance, in the Belgrade Zoo in Serbia, there resides a remarkable 76-year-old alligator whose life has been truly blessed. Today, we hold hope that the wilds of Florida will extend their compassion to the young alligator hatchlings. Having thrived on Earth for millions of years, alligators have earned their status as creatures seemingly invincible to threats. There is some truth to this notion, as they are well adapted to their environments. However, they are defenseless against the power of humanity, armed with guns and ammunition. Unfortunately, these majestic predators have become victims, facing the looming danger of extinction in both their natural habitats. While the risks for alligators in South America are minimal, they still exist. These incredible reptiles are undoubtedly protected, but the illegal trade of their valuable hides persists, driven by the allure of substantial financial gains. This dire situation leads to brave individuals, often living in poverty-stricken regions of South America and China, risking their lives to hunt and sell alligators for their highly sought-after skins. It's a heartbreaking reality that highlights the need for heightened conservation efforts and compassion towards these remarkable creatures. There's an additional factor that places alligators on the verge of extinction. It is the construction of dams and canals, causing irreversible harm to our precious natural world. Uncontrolled deforestation leads to a significant reduction in seasonal rainfall, resulting in the complete drying up of the once vibrant habitats where alligators thrived. Moreover, our industrious activities generate an overwhelming amount of waste, with an annual discharge of 300 to 400 million tons of heavy metals, solvents, and toxic materials into our planet's waters. Unfortunately, the pollution of our environment by plastic has increased tenfold since 1980. The potential extinction of alligators is a cause for concern, not only due to the loss of a unique species, but also because it disrupts the delicate balance of nature. Throughout history, humans have rightfully harbored a sense of awe and trepidation toward alligators. This reverence often translated into a deep respect and even veneration for these remarkable creatures. The burial of reptile mummies alongside esteemed individuals in ancient tombs elevated their status during their earthly existence. However, despite such reverence, humans have also contributed to the decline of alligator populations. They sought to protect their domesticated animals and, in some cases, hunted alligators for sustenance. Yet these actions are only a fraction of the challenge at hand. The precipitous decline in alligator populations can be traced back to a fateful convergence of factors. The widespread demand for reptile leather products coinciding with the advent of firearms. The numbers are staggering. In South America alone, nearly 1 million reptiles, including 500,000 alligators, fell victim to this pursuit each year. Consider this sobering statistic. In 1929, a staggering 190,000 alligator skins were sold. Thankfully, the passage of stringent laws in the United States in 1944 brought about a much-needed era of reptile protection, preventing the complete annihilation of this magnificent species. What lies at the heart of the allure of alligator skin remains an enigma. But we must contemplate whether the pursuit of fashion should come at such a high cost. It rivals crocodile leather in elegance and exudes a captivating allure. Esteemed fashion designers favor alligator leather when crafting their prestigious creations, as it is renowned for its supple texture and delightful feel. One distinguishing feature that authenticates the natural quality of alligator leather is the distinctive belly button scar adorning its underside, resembling a stretched-out star with an exquisite spiderweb-like pattern. Often manufacturers adorn the front portions of their suitcases, wallets, and briefcases with this mark, accentuating the status and sophistication of these accessories. The allure of alligator leather accessories has always commanded attention, as they enhance the image and prestige of their discerning owners. However, in our opinion, resorting to harming these magnificent creatures for the sake of a new purse or a pair of shoes is unnecessary. It requires true wisdom to choose a different path. Dear friends, together we have embarked on a journey through the extraordinary Everglades Preserve, discovering the inhabitants that call it home within the mesmerizing beauty of the United States' first national park. This has granted us the opportunity to draw closer to the cradle of our planet's diverse wildlife and flora. The Everglades encompasses a world of delicate orchids and graceful blue herons, majestic black bears, elegant sandhill cranes, and the iconic alligators, gracefully navigating the tall sawgrass along the banks of the Shark River. Let us cherish their presence as an everlasting embellishment to the natural tapestry of Florida, the radiant Sunshine State.